Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for another exciting CLIA Global Cruise Line webinar to learn how flexibility is the ultimate luxury with Regent Seven Seas Cruises. My name is Johanna de Guzman. I'm the Manager of Industry Relations for North American Travel Trade Membership here at CLIA, and I'm going to quickly go through some housekeeping before introducing our presenter. Please feel free to type your questions into the questions module, and we will get to them at the conclusion of the presentation. This webinar is being recorded and will be posted to CLIA's YouTube channel, CLIA Global. It is my pleasure to introduce our presenter, Randall James. Randall started his 16-year cruise career in Omaha, Nebraska in the call center. He transferred with the company to Florida to take a supervisor position and worked his way up to being an account executive in our sales department. He has supported and worked with travel agents coast to coast and presented to individual agencies all the way to trade shows with hundreds. As of September 2023, Randall took on a new role as trade sales specialist. In his new role, he has worked closely with each of the sales pillars within the organization and has taken on additional tasks in development of enhancements in technology for the entire sales team and travel agent partners. He has sailed on Regent Seven Seas Cruises himself, just completing his 14th cruise, and looks forward to continuing his travels on board the world's most luxurious fleet. And with that, the floor is yours, Randall.
All right. Well, I always love those introductions when you hear about yourself. But thank you everyone for joining. Really appreciate you taking the time out of your day and want to make sure that you learn a little bit about Regent Seven Seas Cruises. There, one thing is, we're a little over 30 years into this sailing adventure, and I really feel like we've really provided an unrivaled experience within the marketplace. And my job, I think, is to really help you sell our fantastic fleet. We do have 6 ships at this time. So the Seven Seas Granger was our newest one, just arrived actually December of 2023. So it is in its inaugural season. We have our Seven Seas Splendor. That poor ship actually was delivered right in 2020. We had our first sailing in March. So our first sailing actually came through the Panama Canal. It got to Los Angeles, and the horrible word came up, and so it sat brand new ship. When we went back to the waters, it actually everybody brought up. They're like, have you cleaned your ships? Have you done any restoration? I'm like, not on the Splendor. It literally only sailed for 14 days. We also have our Seven Seas Explorer. These are all going to be all balcony, all suite. Your first 3 are going to be 750 guests. Like I say, everything does have a balcony. We have our Seven Seas Mariner and Seven Seas Voyager. Those are 700 passenger capacity, and that is going to be all balcony, all suite as well. And then our Seven Seas Navigator, that is 490 guests. We do have 2 categories which have a picture window actually, and those are the lead-in categories. So we're a little bit over 95% all balconies. So what sets us apart in the marketplace and for your clients? So we have immersive exploration, personalized service, Epicurean perfection, unrivaled space at sea, and then every luxury included. Really, the fact that it's really a true all-inclusive proposition for your guests. Unrivaled space at sea. I mean, really, the personal space is central to our promise. If you think about it, when you get on a ship, you do not want to be with thousands. A lot of times, you want to have your own space, your own ability to. There are multiple sitting areas like you're seeing right here that you can actually just sit, relax with some friends, have a little social time. The included beverages, you don't have to worry about that. You can just sit there and relax and actually just enjoy your vacation. So this is one of my favorite pictures. This is actually taken by one of our folks from our company on one of their sailings. And as you can see, you have the large ships next to us, and that is our guy right there, just sitting in the middle, just being tough there in the middle. So I love this picture. It really just shows our size of our ships. You're not sailing on floating cities. You're sailing on a very, very nice ship. But we also have all the amenities included. So let's look at some of our suites here. So this is our deluxe veranda suite, and that is going to be the lowest thing on our Seven Seas Splendor. It's 252 interior and 4 beautiful view. And I'm going to tell you, I sailed in one of ours, and it is incredible in the morning just to open the curtains. You get into our penthouse suites. Within our penthouse suite, we do have a separation, as you can see. That TV, you have two separate TVs, so on each side you can watch different programming. Also, you can, if you're like me, I stay up a little bit later than my wife. So instead of disturbing her while she's trying to sleep, I can actually sit out in the suite and actually enjoy a movie. This is where we get into our Regent suite. So you guys are looking at the largest and most luxurious suite at sea. This is our Regent suite. We have this on our Explorer, Splendor, and Grandeur. It is 3,334 square feet. I'm going to say that again, 3,334 square feet of cabin. You have a master bedroom that includes, you actually have a large walk-in closet that actually separates over to where you do have spa beds. You are able to have spa service come in, and that is going to be one treatment per day. You also have another bedroom, and that is the size of one of our penthouses. That's on the other side. You do have the full bar. You have a dining table. And this one actually, if you look behind us, it actually has a nice veranda. On our veranda, you are looking at having a hot tub, a personal hot tub for you on the veranda. And this is 24-hour butler service. They actually do have a dedicated butler just to this suite. And then there are two additional butlers who cover when that person does eventually have to sleep. So really the best way to sell us is really to be an ambassador for your clients. Show them a 360 view of our suite that can be found on our Travel Partner Center. You always need to review the amenities with them before pricing. Our price point, if just presented, it may look scary, may be tough to look at because the mindset of the cruiser is I'm paying this much to get on board the ship. I'm going to then be charged for things when I get on board the ship. That is not our value proposition. Our value proposition is this is your one price. As I've said multiple times to folks, the cost of a cruise is not just the amount of money to get on board the ship. You have to add how much it costs to get off the ship. We, unless you decide to go to the boutique, have additional any spa services, things like that, we have the majority of our passengers leave without having any additional bill, being an all-inclusive product. And then explain the priority for excursions and dining. We have open seating dining. We do have three venues that are reserved. You do have to complete a reservation, but they do not cost any additional on that. Like I say, the most important thing is always to sell what they're going to experience versus how much it is going to be. And I say this a lot. A lot of folks, are when they're going to sell us, the the passengers that you're speaking with on a Regent cruise or something, even one level down, they have the budget for it. They have budgeted. They want to have a great experience. Your job is to tell them why they should spend their money on this because folks will spend the money if the experience is correct. And how do you do that? Immersive exploration. So it really separates us. We have over 450 worldwide destinations with endless options. You're looking at our free unlimited shore excursions. We've been doing this for years. And it's not one excursion, two excursions. It's not a bus tour. It is on average 7 to 8 different choices. We also then have our Regent choice excursions. The example I always use on this one is going to be a helicopter tour in Alaska. Unfortunately, Regent can't foot the bill for everyone to do an Alaska tour on a helicopter, but it is greatly reduced. Usually, it's around about a $150 to $200 reduction in price is what it's been over the last couple of years. We have introduced these small group tours, and they have gone off without a hitch. It is going to be the same excursions that are included, but your group will be able to actually take a guide. We do have a minimum of 10 guests to actually experience that, but it has been just incredible. Obviously, when you're traveling with a large group, it's great to actually just have them within your group and really make that experience the best it can be. Our Go Local tours, that's going to there's one actually that we just finished in Ireland where there is a nice family that invites folks into their home to see a average day in Ireland. It is a grandmother who cooks for her entire family. She cooks a traditional dish. She explains to you her history. It is just something that you're not going to be able to do with anyone else. This is an individual experience. Gourmet Explorer tours, wellness tours. We have overland packages, of course, pre and post hotels, in port overnights. And then we visit 350 plus UNESCO World Heritage sites. So you can explore the destination that you're going to and really get to know. So as I talked about with the excursions, Africa and Arabia, 500 free unlimited shore excursions, 41 ports of call. In the Med, we have 2,100 free excursions, 116 ports of call. So really, it is around 7 to 8 on each one. Some have up to 12. Of course, you get to Bermuda where it's 35 free excursions with 3 ports of call, so around 10. So each one of these, we're going to have excursions that you are able to do for no additional cost. Personalized service. And this 100% is what we're known for. Every crew member on board is there to give that unrivaled personalized service. They remember your name, the way that you like your drinks, your food cooked. They just make sure that every detail is taken care of. They become like a family. We have folks all the time ask us directly on a cruise, not on the itinerary. They'll ask if a certain crew member is going to still be on the ship. They want to just sail with that person again. And our crew members do such a great job. To this day, I only drink Coronas when I go on cruises for a beer. I don't drink Corona at home. So it's not my normal order. Every single time I get on board one of our ships, a bartender will hand me a Corona. And I mean, I've been on 14 times, but I will tell you, they see millions of passengers to just know that I'm the one who drinks Corona. So talking about our fleet, so the number of suites versus premium cruise line, we always like to bring up this with our staff to guest ratio. It's 1 to 1.5. So for every person, it's 1.5 folks for every crew member. So you're looking at almost 1-to-1 service. 100 guest capacity. You have your space that we talked about a little bit earlier. Private balconies. Your ship sizes are it's around a lot of times half to a third of the large cruise ship, which also translates into when you're embarking and disembarking, there are no lines. Our folks are actually able to go on board the ship very quickly and debark very quickly. So flexibility is really our ultimate luxury. So this is something that if you've sold Regent for a long time, we did make a change currently. And so now there are two all-inclusive fare options. The first one's your all-inclusive fare. That's going to include everything that's on board: your unlimited shore excursions, your dining, your drinks, in-suite dining, your one-night pre-cruise hotel and concierge suites, your Wi-Fi, your valet laundry, your prepaid gratuities, unlimited access to spa facilities. The one thing it does not include is going to be your flights and transfers. So we have the pricing, which is just going to be the all-inclusive fare, obviously everything that you come to expect from Regent. We also have our ultimate all-inclusive fare. That is where you're going to have the flights, the transfers between the airport and ship, and then also we use Black Lane actually for our ability to actually transfer you. So on our page right now, and this is something that I encourage you. It's under our travel agent center, and what it will talk to you about is the inclusions. A lot of times, even us who we sell these things every day, we don't think of some of the things that some of our guests have told us. Well, yeah, but you guys also include this off menu personal request. A lot of folks don't know that we'll do pretty much anything you can think of that is not on the menu. We 100% will do it. Our chefs are open to any different thing. If you're saying, I could really use, I don't know, root like I really want a tomato based salad tonight. Okay, well, let's do that. Just ask for it. Um, the butler service, we don't probably talk enough about that, but it's in the penthouse suites and higher. And what do butlers do? Also, our detailed bathrooms, double vanities, sinks. Those are all inclusions that every single person that's going to get on board our ships is going to have. And then when we get to our all-inclusive fares with the airfare, the ultimate, we have a private executive chauffeur credit of $500 per suite. So you're going to be picked up directly. Uh, the valet laundry service. This is something that a lot of folks do not know that we do. You can send out your laundry every day except for one night before. And here is one of our messages from our social club. It said, "Today, my husband voiced a complaint after recently debarking from yet another spectacular Regent cruise. Sadly, I don't fold his underwear as precisely as the marvelous Regent laundry crew. Oh dear." That is what it comes back in. It looks like a present that is sitting on your bed. The first night that I actually came back after we had sent laundry out, my wife and I came back thinking that someone had bought me a gift. The presentation is incredible. No charge for this. You can send it out multiple times throughout the cruise. Like I say, it just stops the night before disembarkation. So we have folks now that are packing, with airfare in different ways. They're packing a little bit lighter and just sending things back out. So our ultimate all-inclusive, I mean, you have your preferred class of service. You'll be able to have the flexibility to choose and this is actually something that was surprising to us. We've always had the included business class over the water. There are folks that would rather save a little bit of money and they will fly economy. They have no problem flying economy. We have folks that obviously will only fly first class domestically, and maybe we weren't offering that first class on certain ones. You can obviously you choose to buy the air. That's not something that's included. So you have your fares without any air. The custom air fee will still apply if you're requesting a specific way. If you're just saying a preferred class, that is not going to be that way. So the Black Lane transfers, and I think Black Lane is something that, if you have not heard of Black Lane, they really are the leaders in private chauffeur service. We use it within our company. Our folks started using it about a year before we made this change to make sure that number one, it would be something that's up to our standards. So you have a $500 per suite credit. That's $250 per guest to use on Black Lane. So that typically is going to cover two journeys of 100 miles or less, and an SUV with 5 pieces of luggage. This is differentiators. We know that Silver Seas also uses Black Lane, but theirs actually they do not use an SUV. They use a sedan, and it is less pieces of luggage. Also, I believe their credit's a little bit less. I haven't checked in a little while, so I will not say that to be definitive. But this can be used for additional transfers. It could be from your house to the airport. It could be also within a tour. If you're one of the days within your cruise, you want to just go on a private car. Black Lane is all over the world. There are very few places that we go to that do not have Black Lane and would not be able to set that up. Your driver contacts you directly. You work directly with them. They'll give you their name, the vehicle. You'll know everything about that, and they can make changes. They can reschedule directly with you, so you don't have to wait for Regent to make a change. Obviously, with our travel agent community, we want to make sure that you guys are aware as well. And Blacklane has told us that they will contact you and also the guest. Or if you, we've already had someone come up with this. If you're a travel agent that really doesn't want your guests to have any concern on that, they will only contact you. They are definitely open to whatever is going to work best for your clients. I do want to also bring up an inclusion that changed, which is land programs on our exotic sailings. They are no longer included. We're offering them, but they are an extra cost. We like to be very transparent. We don't want that to be something that you normally, and we've done that for years, where on all of our exotic sailings, we have a 3-night package. Now, we will be running promotions that will have that, and they'll be free at select times, but it is not just an inclusion that has been just generally there. Like I said, with the Black Lane, it's 60 days prior to their cruise is when you get the voucher code directly via email. You can modify, you can do that. Our Regent Suite guests, which have a daily private driver, we use Black Lane for that. And then also our Titanium guests who have 2 included transfers, Black Lane will be included for that as well. Regent Suite. So in the Regent Suite, we are changing that to 2 complimentary daily spa services. It was unlimited previously. Um, the vast majority of the treatments are not able to be done in suite. They still will do some in suite. It also frees up a lot of the resources for the guests, other guests who use the spa. So you had travel time to the Regent Suite, travel time back. That was usually an appointment that they could not make. The Regent Suite guests are going to have a priority to book spa appointments. It's 75 days for them, 60 days for the others. That's that suite that's 3,334 square feet. So obviously it's very, very large. We also have a study that we used to include for them to have dining. We no longer are they promised that they can still use it. They have access to that, but also other guests. If you have a large group, that is something that you can actually request. And the study is very nice. It actually seats up to 14 guests. It's private, and you can order off of any menu. Our immersive overnights, this is something that we have really started as of last year. We're starting to overnight more in the ports than we were previously. This is a direct feedback from our guests. So, using this October 5th, which is going to take off in 3 days, I know you can't sell this one, but just using an example, it's a 10-night cruise, but it has an overnight in Venice, has an overnight in Zadar, Croatia, an overnight in Kotor, and 2 nights in Athens. Let me get rid of my friend here. All right, so our Istanbul to Barcelona, as you can see, once again, you have the overnights. And what this does is it allows our guests to see the city at night. A lot of folks where, you do your normal, you come in the morning, you leave at the 5 or 6 o'clock at night. And they've always heard that this is a great place to eat. This is a great place to really enjoy yourself within Dubrovnik, let's say. It gives them an opportunity to really set their expectations. And we are including shore excursions that go much later into the night. Here's another one, November 15th, Rome, Tuscany, Barcelona. And we do have this into 2025. The feedback has been really great. I'll be honest with you. A lot of folks are really making a lot of plans. Travel agents have told us that their guests are just elated and making all kinds of plans. Sometimes it's with family. Sometimes it's like I say, there's folks that will always tell you the next place to go. And we have this all the way through the 25 season, and also we will go into 26. So here's some promotional tools that I wanted to definitely share with you. So your return with Regent credit. This is your future cruise deposits is what we used to call it, of course, but now they do not expire. They used to actually expire after 2 years, but now these do not expire. Um, but they're refundable up to 30 days of purchase. So you can actually get it refunded up to 30 days of the purchase. It's a $200 shipboard credit per suite on the future voyage when you book within 12 months of the purchase date. Otherwise, obviously, it could be used for a deposit. It could be used for, a reduction, obviously, in the cost. For any folks that are on board that are on the call right now who have not ever made a Regent booking, we have a first Regent booking reward, which is a $500 gift card directly to the agent. This is something that we really want to encourage. Obviously, we want you to be able to get over the hump, make your first Regent booking. We're here definitely to help you. We want to reward you for that first booking as well. Single supplements. This is a really growing trend. We are finding more and more single travelers. So we do have a list of single supplement specific sailings that have 0 single supplements. This can be found on our travel agent center, and actually you can see where it'll say single supplements. It is updated anytime that we make any update within our revenue management. At this one that I actually pulled up was from the beginning of the year. There's usually about 60 days. So can't wait to welcome your clients on board. Can't wait to, definitely be here to help you. Our Regent team really believes in what we do, and we believe in our travel agent community who definitely are the reason why we're definitely here. So I think we may go to questions, Johanna.
Yep, Randall, thank you so much for sharing all the new things that have been happening with Regent Seven Seas. Just to start off the questions, I know there was one question that just came in about the topic. Could you explain to maybe someone who is new to being a travel agent what a single supplement is?
Yeah, so a single supplement. Let me actually get rid of my teams here. Sorry about that, guys. Hopefully, no one says anything inappropriate. I don't think they will. All right, so when we're selling a cruise, cruise ship cabins are really based on double occupancy. So each person has a different rate. So single supplements are the supplement to that individual, the individual passenger's charge. A lot of times those could be additional 100%. So you do have to pay for the full suite, even though you're only one person. They can be 75%, 50%. And what we're saying now is instead of there being any additional, it would cost you the same as though you'd be a double. So it's really a great thing for our singles. Cabins, like I say, are built on double to triple occupancy. So folks definitely want to make sure we take advantage of those dates, especially if you have a single.
Great, thank you. And if there are agents who haven't made their Regent Seven Seas travel agent account, where could they go and
Yeah,
like?
no
Mhm.
problem. Yeah, so it's rssc.com. So Ralph Sam Sam Charlie.com. And then you're going to have a forward slash. The forward slash is right next to the ship key. Forward slash, and then you're going to put travel agent. And it'll take you directly to the page. On the left side, it says create a new account. It's going to ask your name, your IATA, your phone number, and your email. That is it. It'll get you signed in at that point. And then one nice thing about our travel agent center is when you do sign up for our travel agent center, that it will look for that email in our booking tool. So you're actually able to keep your bookings online. You can actually track those. You can book shore excursions. We're working for more and more ability to do different things online, but you can make payments. You can see availability. You can make a booking online without even calling us through our booking tool. So it's definitely something I would encourage, as well as we do have our Regent University classes. On those, we do have it's like going to a university. We have our associate's degree, bachelor's degree, you have a master's degree, and then a doctorate, and that depends on the number of courses that you take. With each one, there are actual rewards. So you're going to look at anything from shipboard, mostly shipboard credit on the first ones. You get up to the higher ones, and it actually would be additional commission and things like that. So definitely, I would. And then it's a great way to learn, obviously, what our product is. We had an hour today. There's so much more that can be said within that hour, but we definitely on our university. But those courses actually only do take about 15 minutes to complete a course. And for the associates, I believe it's four different courses. So an hour, I think, and then the first one is actually going to be a shipboard credit that you can apply to a book.
Great, thank you. And I'm glad that you brought up getting onboard credits and to apply to bookings. We do have a question here for one of our agents who has actually booked a Regent Seven Seas cruises for one of their clients going to Alaska. They were wondering if you have any recommendations for any gifts that the agent can get their client on board.
So I always will recommend, obviously shipboard credits nice with our all inclusive nature. A lot of folks don't use as much money on board, but they will go to the spa and have a massage, have a mani pedi. I've seen a lot of people get their haircuts. I've seen those things, as well as we do have our shop on board, which has designer clothing. I will tell you, my wife gets a new purse every time that we go on board. A new designer purse is what is what the promise is, I guess, that she made me make. And I have about three different watches actually that I've purchased on board. Um, but another thing, and I always tell folks this, and it's an inexpensive one, but it's chocolate covered strawberries. I think it's $39. It might be $49, and it goes over like gangbusters. Folks will talk about it. They tell their friends about it. We have folks that come when I was talking about the dining room. When we all folks come in the dining room being like, "Can I get chocolate covered strawberries?" And then our dining room staff always kind of laughs because they're like, "Someone must have got them that as a gift because this is incredible." And then of course they'll do it. But it's a great gift. Nice way to put a note there saying you experience you really like it. We have other chocolates. We do not do flowers because there's fresh flowers daily in the cabin, and we'd hate to, like anything, we'd hate to our flowers to be nicer or our flowers not to be as nice. We don't want to make that decision. So there's fresh flowers daily in the room anyway.
No, I think the strawberries is a nice touch, especially if it's something simple and it's something special. It's the
Yeah, and
thought.
I think it's really just that you're thinking about them and that you appreciate their business and you appreciate them, and you can wish them well. And it's just that last touch point. As you guys know in sales, touch points are key, and it's almost like there's folks that get on board and they feel like, well, I guess that's it, for my travel agent and I. And it's like, no, I'm still thinking of you until you come home, and then we can look at your next voyage. But that kind of shows them, hey, you're still on top of mind with me.
Great. And there was a question or a topic that you brought up at the very beginning of the presentation. You spent a little time on it, and it was the free unlimited shore excursions. And so, could you just recommend, I guess, your top three that are special to Regent that you see guests on board really taking advantage of, and that they might not see on another cruise ship?
Absolutely. So, I'll be honest with you. A lot of the ones that are special are being charged on other cruise ships. You go to the Louvre, you go to, we'll include that tour. We'll include, in like Ephesus. There's different tours in Ephesus that, you're going to be able to go see the history. A lot of people are being charged for those on other lines because it is in depth. It is a very experienced guide, but ours are included. You have to really get into the very specifics to get to the region choice excursions. I will tell you, in Alaska, there's a fishing trip that's included there, which usually you'd be paying for. There are like different crab feasts that are included. I'm trying to think of other things that I've done. Catamarans are included. There and like in the Caribbean, there's a America's Cup sailing tour where you actually sail the ships. It's the America's Cup that is in St. Bart's, and that's included. The price tag on that, just so you know, is $189 if you just would get off the ship and go book that. So it's included. Like I say, about $150 to $200. Anything you can think of that would cost around that range is included with us. And then we do. I always, part of the presentation, I do say that it's not just your city tours. Some people just want to do a city tour. We do those as well. Obviously, we're gonna, do that. And then with the ports, sometimes they are outside the city center, and we have started that on every single itinerary. And this is something I normally bring up when I'm presenting. We have a transfer to the city center and back that is not. There's no charge for it, but a lot of folks are like, I just want to go into the city center. I want to go shopping, or I want to walk around on my own, and then we'll have a designated area for them to come back. So with when you have 7 to 8 different choices, it gives you a lot of different abilities in different parts of the world.
Great, thank you. And just moving on to another question here that we
Yeah.
have for groups on board Regent Seven Seas, if they have a special event or would like to plan something special, who do they get in contact and how much lead time does Regent need? Or is it something that, at the beginning of their trip, they can come up to one of your crew members and say, hey, we'd love to plan a dinner. Is that possible?
So you can do it both ways. We would rather you do it before. We have a groups department that works directly with any group that is being done. We have group coordinators that will reach out to you on different special things. And we usually like to have at least a 30-day lead time. And the reason for that is to make sure that we can do it. Now, I say all of that to say this. You get on board and you ask, as long as you're not asking for the first or second night and you give them about a 2 to 3 day lead time, they will be able to. That study that I talked about with the Regent Suite, where it was exclusive to them, where it holds 14 people, if that is available, they will allow your group to come in and have a dining on that. Now, if sometimes it's not available because the groups, the folks who are in our groups department have already booked it on different nights. So we definitely recommend to do it through our groups department 30 days before, but I don't want to say, oh man, we're too late. You can always ask on board and they will do everything they can to accommodate. And they might come up with a different way to accommodate that. They might say, why don't you guys all come to Prime 7, which is one of our reservations only. And we had a large group that canceled at 6:30. We can put you guys all in at 6:30 in the one corner. We'll do, place mats. We'll do, whatever. They're really good about really treating individual guests like they're individual guests, groups like they're the most important people on board, or the masses. So they're really really great at service, and they want to make sure that every single person leaves the ship saying that was a great experience, and hopefully the greatest experience and greatest cruise they've ever been on.
And if not, they can always try again, and I'm sure the next one will be just as good.
And if you're a travel agent, you say, okay, well, let's go here then. Let's go to the next one.
And so, um, Randall, can we talk about just life on board? I know we've covered shore
Hmm.
excursions. I know we've
Yeah,
covered kind of getting on board. So, for the evening entertainment, is there something or somewhere that
yeah,
the big events happen? And is there possibly a dress code on board?
yeah. So that is something. We are country club casual. So you're looking at gentlemen, a polo shirt and a pair of slacks, all the way up into there are gentlemen that do wear a sports coat, or we've had people in full suits, of course, but we don't require any ties. We don't require jackets, and that is all the way across the board. Ladies, a nice pantsuit, a dress. It is fairly casual. I use a country club casual thing. Pretty much, what would you wear to a nice restaurant that you would be going out to? No jeans, so you cannot wear jeans. Cannot wear tennis shoes. Cannot wear. You can wear. But I say sandals, but I mean like your flip flop sandals. You can wear. Ladies have nice sandals that are very nice that go with like a dress or whatever, and those are allowed. But really, tennis shoes, jeans, t-shirts. It's but gentlemen will wear a t-shirt with a coat over the top of it, and all of a sudden now that really dresses it up. So we have a gentleman who I will tell you, I always tell people probably makes more money than anybody that's ever gone on board our ship, and he has fought for jeans for years. So it may happen one day because he is a rancher in Texas and he loves his jeans. So that is our dress code on board nightly. So every night there will be something in our theater. We will have Broadway style theater shows. We'll have three of those on every single per 7 nights. We'll also have featured performer. Usually that is going to be either a duet or a pianist or a different instrument or a soloist. We also have our we have our host there. We'll have lectures during the day. So there are different lectures that you can actually come and participate in, especially on sea days. We have an events team on board that will have my favorite thing to do, which it is what it is, but is bingo. They'll have bingo daily. They'll also have a trivia thing daily. They have a quiz that is also daily that you turn in. You can pick it up in the morning at the Coffee Connection area. That is something I didn't talk about, which I really should, is our Coffee Connection. It is like a Starbucks on board. They can make up to I think they're at 300 drinks, and I didn't think there were 300 different kinds of coffee, but they're up to 300 drinks, and it's a great place to just sit and relax. We do have a game room. We have bridge. Bridge is a big game on board our ships, so a lot of folks will play bridge during the days. Um, like I said, our event staff is out and about. They'll have putt putt contests. They'll have shuffleboard. We do have on our top deck. We do have a pickleball court on our top three, and then also it's a tennis court, so it's a dual court. On our smaller ones, there is a paddle tennis court. There is a golf. There's like a golf net that you can actually hit into. There's putt putt. So we try to have. I mean, we have all the things that you could ever think of. You know, on board the ship, but we also have things off board the ship.
Well, I'm just super excited about the pickleball court.
I know
That's
it's
my
it's it's
newfound hobby.
yeah. Well, it's crazy how big that has become, and our company had to really react to that because the number of people that are asking us, it was like Yeah, so we just actually finished outfitting our third ship with that. So I think they're actually working on the Mariner and Voyager next to actually outfit it as well. But yeah, it's a growing game.
And imagine doing it with that beautiful backdrop. It's a great idea for a group trip. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
And me being a foodie, when you spoke about the Epicurean Explorer
Hmm.
tours, I really do want to get in depth about that just because I know that
Hmm.
there's a lot of cruisers who probably enjoy the chef experience and getting to cook their own food and learning the local cuisine. But let's say they do have a dietary restriction. Are they still able to fully experience those Epicurean tours?
Absolutely. So that is actually one of the first questions that is asked when someone does have one of those tours that are booked is any food allergies. Because I, obviously our chefs are incredible. They can find something that's a little bit different to replace that. No one wants to have to bring their EpiPen on on a tour. So I mean, obviously you will, but you don't want to ever have to use it, I should say. And they'll find an alternate, of course. We've had people from gluten allergies to nut allergies to, like very specific peppers allergies. And they're definitely they want to make sure that the experience is great. And then we do have a cooking class on board that I didn't talk about. It's additional cost, but it is actually taught by our chefs on board. We do that 4 times a sailing, and they fill up pretty quick. But it's actually in our kitchen, and you'll be able to cook. So it is something that is incredible. But I would recommend those gourmet and those like those tours because you go out into the community and they pick the things that you're going to cook. It's not things that we have on board our ship. Our chefs always want to go and get the fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, the fresh meats from a deli, and then you come back to the ship and you cook and you make that dish, and it's just an experience that's just yours. And our chefs always talk about it as every one of those is different, and you can't recreate that. You can't recreate the number of people. You can't recreate if the apples were as crisp today as they are tomorrow. So it's really I've done one. I'm not a huge foodie. I mean, I enjoy food, but I'm not a huge foodie, and I will tell you it's something that I talk to people about all the time. Of our our chef changing some ingredients, going from one meal that he was expecting to we're going to completely change it because that looks fresher. And it was an apple, by the way, just in case you were wondering.
So right on the spot, he's able, and the chefs are able to kind of pivot, and so that's
Yeah,
nice.
they'll pivot in a heartbeat because they're like, we were supposed to have, I think it was a pepper thing, and he was like, oh, these apples really look good. And all of us were like, yeah, they look great. But, like, and he was like, nope, we're going to go ahead and we're going to do a whole different dish. We ended up making an apple pie that was like just our dessert. And then it was like a skirt steak type thing and some different things. So it was really incredible. So, and some potatoes and stuff. So it
No,
was really good.
we appreciate you sharing all those different experiences that you've had
Yeah.
on board. And Randall, we just do have a couple more minutes here before we wrap up
Yeah.
for the day, but I do want to give you the time to kind of just leave us with some lasting tips when speaking to clients on how to sell Regent and how
Hmm.
to find, I guess, that perfect client or turn your client into the perfect Regent client.
Absolutely. So number one, you want to go ahead and look at your folks that are sailing on your celebrities, your princess, your folks. Also, though, like everybody will always tell you, go to that level and try to move them up. But you also probably have folks that are staying in luxury hotels, throughout Europe. The folks that whenever they come to you and they say, I want to do a vacation with my family, and we want to stay at a upper tier hotel where everything's included. I can have, all inclusives, any all inclusives. If you're going to a beach, it's all inclusive. Your folks already have that taste of how they like to travel. What I always recommend to folks when you're selling us is not to hit people with everything we include. I always ask them, what's the most important thing on a cruise? Or a second question or a follow-up, or depending on how you want to sell, is what's the thing on cruises that you don't like? Because folks will tell you, I don't like the number of people. Boom. You can sell them on, okay, we have smaller ships here. Or, you know what, I really don't like the food. Okay, boom, you can talk about the different food choices. And we also have, with those food choices, we have so many different healthy options that we have brought on, working with our chefs. And I don't know if you guys are aware, but we do have a sister company, Oceana and NCL. Those are our two sister companies, and Oceana and Regent have the same chefs. Now, Oceana is known for their food. If you've been in the industry, I can still tell you there are days where they still can rock our world. It's just something with their chefs, um, but you find the thing that they either like that we're gonna match, or the thing that maybe that has been a challenge in the past that we can give a different thing. People may talk about, I hate that every time you do a drink you have to sign a piece of paper. Well, you never do that with us because everything's included. Or I go on these shore excursions and I always think like, hey, I think I can get that cheaper on the dock. Okay, well, you're not paying, the price point is already there. It's in your price. You're not going off to a dock. And to be honest with you, in some of these countries, that's really not safe. It's really not safe to do. So you find the pain point, you find the pleasure point, and you sell them on that. And sell them on those experiences first before you get to cost. And then, as I said in the beginning, your cruise is what it costs to get on the ship and get off the ship. Really point that out to them. That, well, yeah, I can pay $3,000 for my cruise. Okay, then what happens with all your onboard charges? I've had travel agents who have told me they'll ask them to bring their last credit card receipts from their last cruise, and they'll say, okay, well, you paid this much to get on board the ship, you paid this much to get off board the ship, so your budget's this much. And it may be, let's say, 3,000 to get on the ship and maybe 2,500 to get off. Well, then your budget is really 5,500. And I will tell you, if it's close, to not have to worry about it is so worth, folks. I'm told that by passengers all the time, to not even have a worry in the world about how much they're spending on board. It's different. It's different to be able to leave your drink because you're like, well, I can get another one if I want one later somewhere else. It's a different idea of, I'm going to try an additional, maybe not a second course, but you're going to try something different. You're going to try something because you know that, hey, you know what, I can get room service later, and that room service menu actually is off our main dining room menu, as well as we do have the burger, pizza. One of my favorite things to get is the creme brulee. My wife only allows me one or two a cruise, depending on how nice she feels. But so I always say, don't start with price. If you start with price, we're not gonna make the most sense. We just won't, because there's always better prices. There's flashy prices. But also looking at our ships going 360. Let's go back to that. I mean, just really be their ambassador. Talk about like what folks are saying. That we have our social pages, going on there. Don't take it from us. Every cruise line is going to tell you exactly what we want you to know. Take it from our passengers. They're not going to lie to you. They're going to tell you the truth. They're going to tell you exactly what's good. They're going to tell you exactly what's wrong. And whatever is wrong, know that we also are looking at that, trying to fix that. So I think you all can do it. Everybody can sell it. If you're a new agent who hasn't sold this, I will tell you, how many folks come back once they go on two of our cruises. We see them come back time and time again. It's that second cruise. It's getting them on that second cruise. But I always tell people, bring them to us. We'll get them back at least once. After the second time, they're going to be hooked for life. Now you have a client that's hooked for life, and we pay competitively the highest commissions. I won't say that we pay the highest commissions because there's always different deals that folks get, but consistently we are the highest. So you're going to make great money. We're going to do a lot of the things to make sure that they come back, and we're going to make them happy. You're going to have folks that are going to come back happy. I promise. That's my spiel, I think.
Well, it was a great spiel. It was a great presentation.
I felt
No,
like I felt like a salesperson there for a little bit, and that's my one thing. I don't want to ever be a salesperson because I'm like I obviously I'm in sales. We're all in sales, but also it's real. I promise you what I'm saying is real. This is not just we're like the best thing about Region is I don't have to hide the things we don't include, or like I say, being very transparent with you guys, talking about we don't include air anymore. We did. We don't need more. I don't want you guys to think that we're still doing that and trick you into selling with us. No,
open and honest, transparent. We love it.
absolutely, absolutely.
No, but Randall, you've been great today. And I know just from myself, I've learned a lot about Regent, a lot about what types of clients people should be looking for in terms of booking with Regent. And honestly, I want to go on a Regent cruise now.
It's funny after every one of these presentations, I sit there and I'm like, man, when's my next one? I always, the memories, and that's what you want. You want these folks to come and have a memorable experience, and that's what we want to. We want them to go back and talk to people and tell them about us. We want them to talk about this. Hey, remember when I was in Rome? Oh, when did you go to Rome? Oh, I went on a Regent cruise. Okay. Well, and it doesn't matter. I mean, to us, of course, we want that other person to go, but we want to be part of that experience. We want to be part of their story.
No,
So,
I love that. Well, Randall, on behalf of CLIA and all of our attendees today, I do want to say thank you for another super informative and very, very well put together presentation. You are a great speaker, I will say. Um, and for our agents, thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining Randall and Regencies. And we that you guys are able to book your clients on their first or recurring Regent Seven Seas cruises sailing. So until next time, everybody have a great day. And Randall, take care.
thank you guys so much, and don't forget about that first time $500 gift card.
Yes,
Go make
take
go make that
advantage
money.
of it all. Well, everyone have a great day.